That was insightful as hell.
I mean,
that was beautiful.
I didn't admit that.
Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of Co-op the Podcast. It is... It's your girl, Raven, here with her lovely husband.
Yeah, I was going to steal the yo boy thing, but I guess I won't do it now, so...
No, let's start over.
I'm a person, Jesse.
Hey, person.
No, we're not starting over.
No,
It's
we won't
fine,
start over, yeah.
Jesse, just Jesse.
Just Jesse. How do you spell it? Is it with an I-E?
Why?
Ooh. How many S's you got in there?
I mean,
At least
however
3.
many. Yeah. S is one of those letters, like, it doesn't really change, right? Like, you could have 6 in there, and depending on how you pronounce it, it would still be, you could just say Jesse.
Right.
Right? Because you're...
This will be just C.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Co-op the Podcast, your weekly dose of bullshittery from Jesse and I, the co-op couple, as some may call us.
Yes, as they do. As many do. Trillions.
As many, yeah. Hundreds
across
of
the
people.
galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So, yeah, what's been going on this week, right? So we did our Game of Thrones thing last week. If you guys didn't listen to that yet, you should go listen to it, because Game of Thrones is...
Good.
When this comes out, it's happening. It's live. Everybody wants Game of Thrones.
Last season, forever, until they redo it.
Ever. So that's pretty much... but yeah, so that's the last season of Game of Thrones ever. We're not going to kind of recap each episode.
No.
So I know we're a few days after the first episode. People might be looking for that. But we don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. If you're looking for that, go watch Jonathan Van Ness's Game of Thrones. He recaps each episode in a much better manner than we would ever do. So go watch that.
Yeah.
Come here for other bullshit.
Yeah, and we will definitely, we'll mention Game of Thrones. We'll talk about Game of Thrones. We'll be on and off. We're going to try and avoid any spoilers. And then, of course, only 6 episodes. Once these 6 episodes are done, and it's done forever, yeah, we'll talk about it.
For sure.
You know, but
once it comes to an end.
Just wanted to get that out of the way so nobody's expecting Game of Thrones related stuff.
Yes. This week, since our last episode, Jesse also got a leather jacket, so he's much cooler than the rest of us, and he's wearing it right now with gym shorts.
Yeah, our studio's cold.
Cool. It's very cold.
We're in that weird time. Anybody from the Pacific Northwest knows it's weird here, right?
Yeah,
it's like 40 something degrees, but you know,
so rainy and cold. It's not fun. But then at the end of the day, it's bright and shiny and sunny and 65.
Right.
But
any day now too. It's just gonna
doesn't have air conditioning.
Bust into being hot as balls in here. So.
Hopefully. We can only pray.
Yeah, hopefully not. But anyway, so hotcakes then. What do we got going on?
Announcements. We got some blog content. We got blog content. I made a post. I've made at least one post by the time that we're recording this episode. I'm working on some more recipes for the blog as well because people seem to really like those.
Recipes are a winner, yeah, and that's a goal of ours. That's our current short time stretch goal is to get these blog posts going, and so we're going to try and get more content coming your guys' way. So make sure you check out our website. If you've been following us on social media, you're not really aware of the website, it's coopthepodcast.com.
Yep. You'll also get
coopthepodcast.com.
Yeah, and there's also some links on our social media as well that you can follow to get to that blog content. So,
so make sure you go check it out. And, because we're looking for feedback, again, on our podcast, on our posts, everything, so that we can improve. And if you want, we've done some recipes in the past, and if you want those in post form with recipes and stuff like that or whatever from Raven's Instagram, definitely let us know because we're going to start doing tons of cooking.
Yes,
posts.
And I'm testing all the recipes too to make sure that they work for you guys. So I'll redo a lot of those posts and post them onto our blog.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So any more announcements before I keep on pushing?
No, just a reminder. We'll have an episode coming out. Obviously, this is the 16th. We'll have episodes for the next 2 weeks after this, but then after that, we're taking a short little break to go on vacation.
Yeah, we'll be on vacation. We'll maybe record some content. I think we should record at least like 15 minutes. We'll try. Well, we could say, hey, what's up? It's us. Here's an announcement. Reminder, this is it for the podcast this week. Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but not our full usual podcast.
Yeah, it'll be a few minutes. It'll be fun. But we'll make sure there's something so you guys remember.
Hotcakes.
Okay, so that was it for announcements? For sure?
That's it,
sure? Okay.
I believe, for announcements.
All right, start us off with some hotcakes. What's new?
Yeah, so Disney this week kind of confirmed and announced its Disney Plus service.
Yep. Which, so also I saw, this is just an aside, Netflix raised their prices.
They did.
I saw that when I was logging onto Netflix. So I'm assuming those two are not unrelated.
Right, exactly. Correlation, whatever.
Yeah. So what's the deets? I mean, for me, I'm super interested in, I know they're going to do some new series, right?
They are going to do a lot of new series. The price is actually pretty low compared to your usual, like, Hulu and Netflix. I think it's only
usually $6.99. Around $15.
Yeah,
this one's $6.99. Yeah, that's good.
$6.99. I believe it's actually not even in this article that we're looking at, but whatever.
Yeah, either way, like, they're gonna have some new content, and I'm assuming also that they will have basically every Disney movie. You know how like Netflix has had some from time to time. Hulu might have some. I'm gonna assume if they really want to provide value, and I did hear they're getting rid of the vault, right?
Yes, they are getting rid of the vault.
So I'm assuming this is part of that reason. Mm-hmm. So, you're talking, like, everything's on there. Mm-hmm. $6.99 is kind of worth it.
Exactly. I think that they're also going to sell DVD and Blu-ray versions of all of our favorite films. So I would still kind of stock up on those because, again, who knows when these films they're going to stop producing them for DVD or Blu-ray, and then you're stuck without it. So,
right. And as we talked about in a previous podcast,
that's happened.
They might cut it. Yeah, they might cut it from their service, and then what are you to do?
Exactly. All right. So one of the shows that Disney Plus is launching with is The Mandalorian, which is basically the Boba Fett origin story kind of series. That's coming out. That's highly anticipated by Star Wars nerds, and we're going to get into more Star Wars announcements later.
Animated?
No.
Live action?
I believe it's live action.
Because they've had success with, like, the animated Clone Wars, blah, 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 right?
That's your favorite, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, like, live action could work as well. And actually, I see on here the Clone Wars is going to be brought over. So that's good. So,
Pedro Pascal is actually starring in The Mandalorian. I don't actually know if it is...
It's hard to tell from the still image that I see right here because...
If he's actually Boba Fett?
It looks real. Well, no, I'm saying it's hard to tell if it's animated or real because it looks real, but it also looks like it could be just drawn really well.
I think that it is real. It looks like it's being directed by Jon Favreau, who is well known for The Lion King at this point, the remake, The Jungle Book, Iron Man 1 and 2, and The Chef, which is a really good movie. Yeah. And he's also Monica Geller's boyfriend in a little bit of The Friends. So he's directing it. So other really notable programs that are coming when it first releases looks to be a live action version of Lady and the Tramp.
I see that, yes, and that looks cute for sure.
It looks very cute.
I haven't seen Lady and the Tramp in like
doggos.
20 years, so I don't know.
Same,
but yeah, it could be good.
Yeah, and then a High School Musical series, which I don't know what that's going to be, and if it doesn't have Zac Efron in it or Corbin Bleu, then I'm not as interested. The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which I'm sure Corey A., our most beloved resource for news, is loving that idea.
Yeah. I think he's got a good voice for stuff, so...
Yeah.
I see something Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What's that?
Yes. Cool. So they're releasing a lot of MCU content onto that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is one of them. The Loki series is going to be on there as well as a Scarlet Witch and Vision series called, I believe they said it's going to be WandaVision, which automatically makes me think of the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like a good name.
Doesn't sound like a good name at all.
But whatever, I don't judge.
Yeah. You should. That's our job here at Call Up the Podcast, is judging.
Throw the book at him.
Throw them at him.
But yeah, so no, I think this looks. It looks like, I mean, if it's $6.99, which I haven't been able to find that online. But I didn't do a too deep a search because I was mostly searching for Netflix's price response, which, if anybody's wondering, it looks like it's about $2 across Netflix plans is the average raise, and it does not seem like they're directly saying it's Disney Plus that caused it, but they're saying in order to stay competitive with programs like that, they're going to have to invest more and more, and blah, 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 blah.
They'd put that pricing or that inflation right onto the consumer, so that's kind of upsetting.
Exactly.
But for Disney, it's $6.99 per month, $6.99, and then $69.99 for an annual subscription. So, which is nice. And then most other price plans come between like $11 to $13. So this is about half as expensive.
Yeah, I think
right now.
Oh yeah, and I think for anybody who's even remotely interested, you want to catch up on these new series, or you're having some nostalgia for some Disney stuff, do it. Check it out. Worth it. It's totally
we'll
worth
probably get it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it for
$6.99. We love spending money on
it's
shit.
Worth it. Yeah. I mean, we pay more than that for Amazon Prime Video, and we watch that shit.
We never watch Amazon Prime. Ever, unfortunately. I used to watch it. I tell you,
it's like we pay for it for the shipping, which is shit.
Yeah, in our area.
If anybody works for Amazon,
we still hate you.
Logistics, they
our opinion
are
hasn't
terrible.
Changed.
And you need to send some feedback up the food chain.
Yeah, we literally bring this up maybe like once or twice.
I know, it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. Whenever we hang out with friends, we're always talking about it.
That's all we talk about.
It's always a topic of conversation.
Yeah, because it's so bad.
It's so bad for everybody we know. So
yes.
So it's terrible. But so what are we really paying for in that? And we're paying
to not have to go interact with human beings, but then I have to interact with human beings because I have to complain about.
And yeah, they're like, oh, but you get Prime Video, and it's like, I ain't never watched that shit.
Well, I mean, we should, because we got to watch the Grand Tour. Yeah. I used to watch Zelda or Z, the beginning of everything, or whatever it was called, but they haven't come out with a new episode or new season. So we've watched a couple of things on there that are noteworthy, but not a whole lot.
Well, we should watch more. Yeah.
We should.
But yeah,
we're watching a lot of Bobby Flay and One Piece right now. So once we're done with that, maybe.
Yeah, Grand Tour's on my list. And then what was the new show actually that we were supposed to watch on HBO too? We should plug that right
now.
Fuck. It seems like it wouldn't be a great show, and you're like, oh,
Bill Hader is in it, and the Fonz.
But supposedly it's really, really good. Barry. Yes, our friends were like. Watched one episode.
You know them as Richard and Jenny.
They watched one episode and then they decided to binge the entire thing.
I think we could probably binge it all tonight after we record
it's like they're like an hour long each. It's like
they're 30 minutes. They're 30-minute episodes.
Either way.
But it's really good. It's supposedly about like an assassin or a hitman who is played by Bill Hader. So hilarity ensues. We'll definitely check it out and let you guys know what we think.
We'll report back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's another great idea for blog posts is like new shows we watch.
Yes, exactly.
Anyways, let's move on through our hotcakes. I see the next one, and I mean, I saw the reviews, or I saw the mixed reviews. I didn't read any specifics.
Yeah, and that's of Hellboy, the new one with David Harbour. Which we all know I was really excited about, and I'm still really excited about.
Yeah, and I was pretty mixed. Like, I was not super excited about the latest rendition, mostly because I really liked the previous version, and I thought that they just ended it short, and the real bummer was they didn't finish that.
This one's fault.
Right, it has nothing to do with this one. Right. But it was kind of a bummer, and so apparently it's doing
not great.
I see reviews that are basically giving it a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah,
right in the middle of being bad and good. Supposedly, the original one was better. So
Yeah.
We still want to watch it. We haven't seen it.
And we will. We will watch it. If we happen to miss it in theaters, we'll watch it when we get a chance elsewhere.
Yeah.
But
there are tons of other movies we want to watch right now as well, because Shazam is supposedly amazing, and we have to watch that.
I did not know that was out.
Yeah, it's already out.
I love Chuck.
I know. I thought I was going to ask if you wanted to see it this weekend.
Man, we got so much
we don't
going
have now.
on.
Yeah, we don't have time now. But then also in a couple of weeks, there's going to be, Avengers Endgame comes out, and I think there are some other films that we do.
Well, so I was going to say, I overheard somebody in Target talking about Mary Poppins and Dumbo.
Oh yeah, Dumbo's out, but I'm going to say right now, I didn't like the animated version of Dumbo because it's really sad, and I don't like really sad things. And I just kind of don't want to watch
Frank's in Dumbo, though, so that's pretty
He
cool.
is.
Yeah.
His name is Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Frank from Always Sunny, though.
Frank.
He's in it, and so I think it'll be good. I've heard a lot of good things, and apparently that guy said it was great. But he also said...
That rando dude in the Lego aisle.
No, it was in the hair products. He was talking to... He was with his daughter, and they were...
Yeah.
I know this guy's entire life.
I remember the lady said, I live for Emily Blunt.
Right. So they were talking about the Mary Poppins one, and supposedly, I didn't even know they were remaking Mary Poppins, or it's not a remake. It's a...
Damn, Jesse, you gotta be more... This is what our podcast is about. You have to know
People
more
like it that I don't know things. I think.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't think we've gotten any of those reviews in.
Mary Poppins apparently is it's the kids, and they're grown up and they have their own kids.
Sure.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the the future.
I'm gonna also be Frank now.
Not a remake.
Frank. I'm Danny DeVito now.
Going to say the N-word.
No. I haven't seen the original Mary Poppins.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know why. I love Julie Andrews, but I don't know. I just never watched it.
Yeah.
I had to sneak watching Bambi. I lived with a bunch of boys, and they don't want to watch that.
Mary Poppins is good. It was good, more classical kind of feel, right? So.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool in it.
So so Hellboy is mixed reviews, but I still think everybody should go out there and see it if you're a fan of the comic series, if you're a fan of David Harborough, if you're a fan of the, offbeat dark horse just feel to movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I think still go see it and give us your reviews, right? And
let us see know how you like it.
Our fans think as opposed to everybody else.
Because we probably have closer taste in movies and whatever to you guys more than we do rando people on the internet. Yeah, and Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. Okay, so what else came up? The Black Hole on Reddit.
Yeah, this week we got to see the first ever images of a black hole, and it looks like the Eye of Sauron. So that's not a good sign.
And so if people are wondering, it's not a direct picture of a black hole.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of...
It's a bunch of pictures, and they're put together. They're kind of to see what the black hole would look like, because you can't take a picture of the black hole.
And it's
so
too a little far away, so it's a lot of...
it's simulated, yeah. It's a simulated picture of a black hole, and it looks basically exactly as people would expect a black hole to look like.
Yeah.
I think people were drawing... artists were drawing pictures of what they thought it would look like, and it looks like this. So it's
Yeah, I think Battlestar Galactica has done a really great job at showing us what they think it looks like, and they look pretty similar.
Yeah. Now, I did see one cool thing people were talking about was how, what Pluto looked like in simulated pictures in, 1960-something versus what Pluto looks like in HD pictures now, and you're okay, in the same amount of time. It actually wasn't even 1960-something. It was, 2000 or something. It was, a very short period of time. We went from... Pluto looked like a gray blur to Pluto. We could see individual crevices and stuff on the surface and zoom in and stuff.
Yeah. It's really beautiful too. So, I can't wait for us to actually be able to see what
Right. And really what we'll be able to get kind of pictures of is what's going on that event horizon. I don't think you can get a picture down the middle of a black hole.
No.
I don't think that makes sense.
Unless you're going down it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeehaw!
But so I don't think you can get a picture like that, but we could probably get pictures of the event horizon and see what's kind of that, that kind of looks like a little bit more. So it could be interesting.
It'll be so much fun when that actually happens. Science is amazing, you guys.
Yeah.
So amazing.
But okay, then what else? The more local to our planet, There was the ancient sea cucumber.
Yes, and please tell me more about that, Jesse, because you know a lot more than we.
I read a little bit about it. So it's one thing I could not find in the article I read. I only read like 2 articles, so
That's okay. That's one I read.
And it's more like I can't remember, and they might have said it, and it just wasn't as interesting. But ancient sea cucumber. From how ancient? I don't know. I don't think it's that. Like 75 million, a million, 2,000. 3,000?
1,000.
Yeah, that's a realistic number. Yeah, we don't know how ancient. But the thing is, it's a sea cucumber. The skeleton looks a lot like the face huggers would look, right?
Yeah, in Aliens.
Yeah. Very kind of skinny little things, which I didn't even know sea cucumbers had skeletons. Hey.
Oh, I didn't know they did either.
Yeah, apparently
I'm still honestly just picturing a cucumber underwater.
Yeah.
When I think of a sea cucumber.
Yeah, this one was the predatory one, apparently.
Predatory. Do they
so
have mouths
imagine, if you
claws?
will, this would have been like, I don't know. Let's just assume it was millions of years ago.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Because it's got to be something like that, yeah. And like little microorganisms were like humans, then this guy would have looked like Cthulhu, giant monster with tentacles waving all over the place.
And that is exactly what they're comparing it to.
That's what the scientists basically brought up. And it looks like Cthulhu.
Yeah, didn't they name it after? Did they name it after Cthulhu?
I don't.
Or did they name it after his actual Great One name?
Yeah.
And then if you say it too many times, it's like Beetlejuice and Cthulhu appears.
It could be, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's they did a 3D rendering of what it could look like, and it does. It looks like just a bunch of tentacles on a
coming out of a
body.
face.
Yeah. And so
which is also the body. Yeah.
And that guy was roaming around eating all the microorganisms that probably eventually turned into humans, right?
Destroyer of worlds.
If it was that old, but
yeah.
So it was super cool. We were writing a blog about it.
We are writing a blog post about it. You'll be able to see that. So visit coopthepodcast.com to read that article written by our own beautiful husband, yours and mine husband.
Yes.
Jesse Welch.
Yeah. And I'm going to put together some stuff on the actual sea cucumber, but I really wanted to put out some information on Cthulhu himself.
As well. Yeah, if you don't know who or what Cthulhu is.
We all know who Cthulhu is, but do we know Cthulhu? It's
like
one of those
that don't know.
The man behind the man,
I think the man behind the monster, the man is H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah. So. But it's like one of those little exposés. You sit down and find out who we've all heard of Cthulhu, but do we really know Cthulhu?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put together some stuff and then kind of put them all together.
Yeah.
But we'll check out the blog for that. What else?
So, speaking of face huggers, Aliens is actually it's having its 40th anniversary right now, which is amazing. Alien is one of my favorite films right after Aliens, which is its sequel. And so right now, they're actually coming out with fan-made short films. And they're actually releasing those up until April 26th, which is Alien Day.
Yep.
Which is their 40th anniversary.
Yeah, the actual day of the anniversary.
Yes, exactly. So, I haven't actually gotten to see any of them. I need to go back and watch them. But Jesse, you've watched...
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces from at least one of them. I did not know they were coming out with more than one, so after I watched that, I was like, okay, I'm good.
This is it.
Oh, that was interesting.
We're good now.
But now that I know
they have a couple out right now. So Night Shift is out. It's one of the most recent ones. I think that's out. Specimen is out, and Containment is out, and they're all around 9 to 10 minutes long.
Right. So, and based off the one that I saw, which was the Night Shift one and stuff like that, it's more about what else is going on around the timeline of Aliens where, Alien, and Aliens.
Just one Alien.
The other movie. But this was not it's not like the ship and the alien and all the stuff that
your usual xenomorph experience. Sigourney Weaver's not in any of these.
Sigourney Weaver, she was on the ship and all that stuff, but it obviously spread from there, right? She survived, and the infestation of the alien spread throughout,
which is very obvious in the entirety of the
universe.
Yeah, the Aliens universe.
Yeah. So, this is any given work group of people, and somebody gets infected, and it starts spreading, and then everybody dies, besides one person maybe lives and gets away. But
are they also infected?
But they didn't defeat... Yeah, exactly. They didn't defeat the alien. Nobody ever really defeats...
Ever.
The xenomorph, yeah.
They're the perfect specimen.
Exactly.
Ooh, which is one of the names of the shorts.
Yeah.
Specimen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I think, it'll be really cool to see what all kind of comes out of this. Like, are they going for, like, some big storyline that's going to introduce a new movie? Mm-hmm. Right? Is that their plan, right? Are they doing something like that?
And will they release it on April 26th?
Well, not a whole movie, but they might announce it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Will they announce the movie on April 26th?
Yeah. So it'll be really cool, and I think, we'll see some cool stuff kind of come out of it. But, yeah I mean, go check this out. I watched mine on IGN. Are they all on IGN?
I see them all are on IGN, but you could probably also find them on the Aliens website. I know you can watch them on IGN. So just kind of take a look there and... You'll figure it out.
You can probably find them elsewhere. But check them out. Alien 40th Anniversary Short Film. Just type that in and you'll find all of them.
And you'll find them all.
Yeah.
We'll share some links. I think I have on social media and stuff too. So, last but not least of our hotcakes is this week we got our first trailer of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. First teaser trailer. It looks amazing. We're learning a lot about what's going to be in the new one. They're answering some questions that have been lingering in our minds from the last film. So I'm very, very excited. And I think that, since I was a kid, I was very young when Phantom Menace came out. And I know that one's not the best one, but when you grow up with your parents telling you how amazing it was for them to experience Star Wars in theaters, and then you get a chance to feel that way with your own Star Wars saga. I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. And so now that this particular saga, as I'm an adult, is coming to an end, I mean, I cried a little while I watched it at my desk, like I do whenever I watch trailers. For some reason, I get very emotional.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for sure. It's supposed to be the last movie for a little while too.
They said that they're gonna kind of take a reset.
Take a chill pill.
Yep, take a chill pill, which they kind of also need because it looks like they're coming out with more Star Wars content, so they don't need to come out necessarily with one of these episodes.
Right.
Tale.
I think so. And, it'll be nice to have all of the, the core trilogy, right? Trilogy of trilogies.
The trilogy of the trilogies.
Kind of finished so that, we can say, okay. And because, no matter what they do, they're not going to inject any movies into that kind of storyline, right? They might be, prequel to so-and-so story, like Solo was, right?
Yeah, and, Rogue One was to A New Hope.
Right, but it's not going to be like any of the main characters, it's not going to be a big deal within any of them. So that'll be really nice to have, because then I think we'll be able to watch them and say, okay, now it all makes sense. Mm-hmm. There's not a single thing that is I don't get it, right?
Right, exactly.
Which is what I'm seeing here, so excited.
So in this trailer, we see that Rey, Finn, and Poe are all together again, finally, which they haven't been in a really long time. They weren't really together as much in the last film. So it's nice that they're finally coming together.
Yep, classic storytelling, right? They all come back together as, the party comes together, gets split, and then comes back together.
Come back together to make it happen. We see that Rey has gotten Luke's a lightsaber.
Right, yeah. Which, she had before, right? But then, she gave it up and then got it back again.
Luke had it, and then it went away.
Right.
And then now Rey has it.
Yeah, she's got it. She's got it now, yeah.
Yeah. Good. So there's a lot of exciting things. Billy D. Williams is in this film. He wasn't in the last couple, and he hasn't been in one since he was originally in the original saga. So he's bringing back Lando Calrissian. So that's super exciting to see him flying the Millennium Falcon again. That's going to be fun to watch. We see Carrie Fisher in it, and it's actually not a CGI version of Carrie Fisher. It's a live action
scenes she filmed
for The Force Awakens, and J.J. Abrams used it in this movie instead of in that one. It was like an extra scene for The Force Awakens, and now they're using it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
They've got lots of options these days to do stuff like that. It's great, yeah.
Yeah. We're seeing some really cool stuff with Kylo Ren. Where is his story gonna go? We see kind of an image of somebody, obviously not Kylo Ren, forging his helmet back, which he slammed in The Force Awakens. And it's definitely his kind of symbol for his devotion to Darth Vader. So, who's putting it back together? Why are they putting it back together? Do you think that has something to do with the Knights of Ren?
But, I'm going to say, like, it does not look like it's being forged on a, like, official, Empire ship or whatever. Because you can see the tools that are forging it look kind of, like, piecemeal. Like, like it might be, like, a scrapper's tools or somebody who's, like,
the person is definitely somewhere. Like when you watch clips of the trailer, you're seeing like this guy's hands are very hairy, but he's not a Wookiee, I don't think. But yeah, it's very hairy, so I can't imagine anyone from the First Order putting together his helmet.
Right. It's not like he's like, oh, hey, repair my helmet for me. And he got like people, because like, they'd be doing it all like super nicely in a super nice environment with like,
with the best equipment.
Yeah.
With
it does not
non-hairy
look like,
hands.
Yeah. It does not look like that's what's going on. So, that's interesting.
Yeah. We also see Daisy Ridley, Rey, being super badass in the beginning, flipping over a goddamn fighter like it's nothing. So I'm super excited to see her in this final chapter of the saga and see how she's grown. Because I've always loved her character. I've loved where she's really come from. I'd love to see where they're going to go with kind of her story. Because in the last movie, we were basically told that she's nobody from nobody. And I wonder if how that's going to play into the story.
We'll see if that's true.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rian Johnson did say that the director of the last film, The Last Jedi, did say that he's cool with whatever J.J. Abrams decides to bring into this movie. So another thing we see is a shipwrecked Death Star.
Right, which don't gloss over that. That's pretty important. Because that is the Death Star.
Right. It is one Death Star.
It's probably Death Star
we've
version
seen 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah, but from what I hear, people are saying this one is much larger. And so we're also wondering, what planet are they on? Are they on Endor? If that is the case.
Maybe.
Because technically the Ewoks were on... Well, in those areas, it was a moon of Endor, wasn't it, that they were on?
Right. I can't remember. And so I think it's the one from the third movie. It's the second one. Because that would make more sense because there's another part of the whole thing. Which is Emperor Palpatine is in it. And actually the actor that played... No. We don't know.
No, we do know because in the panel...
Right. He was there.
He was there and he confirmed he's in the film.
Oh, he confirmed it. I was going to say, like, I don't know if he confirmed he was in it or he was just saying, yeah. Yeah, he confirmed that he is in the film, and that is his laugh, Emperor Palpatine's laugh. Right, and he was aboard the second Death Star when it went down. And when he was killed by Darth Vader, spoilers, you've had, like, 40 years to watch it, motherfuckers. When he's killed, we don't see his body. We don't see him die. Right. And then also, Jedis have been known to kind of come back in one shape or another. Well, yeah, so Jedi have been able to do the ghost thing. Yeah. Which so didn't they actually... Siths can do that. I mean, Siths should be able to do that. Right, too. Right. Well, and so Palpatine's actually whole story is about immortality and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And his master was Pelagius the Wise or whatever. Have you heard the tragedy? of Pelagius the Wise. Yes.
Is that how you say it? I've only seen it in GIFs since I've actually watched the movie.
I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I can't remember. But
I'm sure the internet will correct us.
They'll correct us, yeah, and that's great. But yeah, that was his master, right? Who was the guy that was like, the reason there are only 2 Sith, there used to be a bunch of them. They used to be like a big whole thing. Is because he basically pared it all down because he knew that the Force had to be in balance, and the less of them there were,
be more powerful.
The more powerful he'd be. Yeah, and he was trying to create life. That's how he made Anakin.
Death. Yeah,
right.
Well, that's also a theory, right?
No, it's confirmed.
Is it confirmed?
Yeah, Anakin is basically like
born
Jesus.
of the Force.
What's it called when there's no father? Immaculate conception?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
immaculate conception.
Yeah, that's Anakin, and it's because that
crazy
Pelagius or whatever, Pelagius
raped his mother with the Force.
Yeah, was doing all sorts of high level experimentation with the Force. He got so powerful he could make himself immortal. Only thing that killed him was because he had to have an apprentice, right?
Right.
And he taught his apprentice all this stuff, and the apprentice was like,
well, fuck you.
Yeah, okay, done. Yeah, I'm done with you. Okay, bye. But he didn't actually teach him all the secrets. So that was kind of why, Palpatine was looking for Anakin, right? And when he found Anakin, he's like, this is one of my master's last
tricks,
acts. He created this kid, and maybe I could learn a little bit more of the secrets, because what he was missing was how to truly he can extend his life. Palpatine can extend his life, but he was not truly immortal, and he never learned the final trick or whatever. But so basically, it's totally reasonable that Palpatine's still alive.
Absolutely
reasonable. You
get that good cackle at the end of the teaser, and you're like, oh, we know that
he's super powerful. He could have made it, and you know what? There were Force users, right? There were people still alive that were basically draining his side of the Force, right? In all over in the First Order, right? I can't remember the guy's name, right? The big guy, and then Kylo Ren and people like that, right? And as they started to fall, he started to get more powerful again because the Force needed to stay in balance, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
It's all these things
now
in the background. He's slowly building up strength.
Only 2 because there's just Kylo Ren, and there was an imbalance in the Force of the Sith, even though now technically there's only 1 actual Jedi.
Right. It's all balancing itself out.
It's balancing itself out now.
But, there's this big, if Palpatine plays his cards right, he can start, he's powering up, right? He's healing and recovering and getting more power and getting his hands on more and more of the Force and being okay, I'm getting it now. He's doing what Yoda was doing, living on this planet alone, kind of leveling up, healing up,
Yep.
And there you go. That's basically,
Yeah. So we're obviously super excited for this last episode of Star Wars, and it's coming out December 20th, 2019. So coming out this Christmas for ya.
Yep, they always come out around that time, and it's always a good time.
Yeah. All right.
On to the theme.
Yeah, that was our hotcakes, guys. Our theme this week, we decided to kind of change it up and do dieting and kind of fitness themed.
Yeah,
episode.
We talked about a lot of other stuff, but in general, our podcast is here to talk about anything and everything.
Anything we're interested in. Yeah.
And it's been a while. We haven't discussed our health,
fitness,
habits,
dieting, health. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we're in the mood. We've been doing a lot of cooking and discussion about it, so we thought we'd jump in.
Right, exactly. And we're getting close to that trip. So the trip in May for us is going to the Dominican Republic. And I know a lot of people end up trying to diet and get fit before they take these big trips, but we've been trying to get fit for a lot longer than that.
Right. And we've made the extra push and stuff like that. And so it's always top of mind. It's
on the mind a little bit more.
And you know what? That's, that leads right into discussing it, is I think, for anybody, so you may be out there and you're like, okay, but I need to find a diet that works for me, and I tried this diet and it didn't work, and it's that is the point, right? Keeping everything top of mind and trying new things and continuously adjusting and changing and tweaking, trying new diets. You're not going to find something that is okay, I found the diet, I'm doing this for the rest of my life,
right?
I mean, if you're making diet decisions, like you want to go vegan or vegetarian for personal reasons or health reasons, you got to cut out certain things. Of course.
Absolutely.
You can do that for the rest of your life. And that's totally cool. And you're not.
Maybe as long as you consult your doctor, because again, Jesse and I are not healthcare professionals.
Yeah, you
we're
got to get all
literally
of
the
your
opposite.
nutrients. But, you know, and we're also not diet professionals. So if somebody out there is like
or
a super hardcore diet for fitness person's like, no, you're wrong.
How dare you?
We'd love to maybe have them discuss it online with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll maybe get corrected. But, you know,
in person.
The diets we've tried, keto, I do the carnivore diet right now on and off. Raven's a flexitarian. Yeah, and we've tried countless ones.
Yeah.
And we see results on all of them. And there's always a period where maybe the results kind of slow down, or
and I'll say
it's challenging to keep up.
Yeah, there is one aspect of all these diets that really works for us, and that is the use of moderation, calorie tracking.
Yes.
And then just making sure you're like keeping track of what you're eating. Because when you're just eating without kind of keeping yourself in check, that's when you start gaining weight, because you have no control over what you're eating anymore, and you have no idea how that gets converted into into fat cells and into energy in your body that eventually turns into fat cells.
Yep, that's the underlying principle to any diet. Track it.
Track it.
We use MyFitnessPal.
We do
to track.
We've had some success with Lose It in the past, and in all of those too, you're able to track your macros, which are basically the amount of protein, carbs, and fat you're getting in a day.
Yeah, so typically when you're tracking, calories are important for everybody.
Very
but
important.
I'll say with the carnivore diet, what they really emphasize and what I do there is I don't track my calories at all. Or I track them, of course, but I don't care. Right, I'll be over on calories. What I'm doing is, for a guy of my size, which I'm around 200 pounds, I eat about 2 pounds of meat a day.
So much.
Yeah, it's a lot of meat, and it's very heavy. And you think, oh man, there's no way I can eat all this, or maybe you're like, I can easily eat that, and hopefully you'll shed a lot of weight.
Yeah,
if you feel that way. But you're like, it's not that bad, and it's not as filling as you might think. And because on that one, it's very strict about just no carbs and no anything else. It's a very strict form of dieting.
And so the important part about carbohydrates, so we'll just kind of start from there, is sugars and refined grains and all carbohydrates, but those specifically are broken down into sugar very quickly. Which we use for cells. So, I mean, if you ever have a heavy grain and you get energy real quick and then you kind of crash and you feel really hungry, that's usually because you've had a lot of sugar and refined grains.
Right.
But then basically what happens is if your body doesn't use all that energy, it gets stored in our fat cells.
Right.
As fat, basically. And then sugar can only enter it with insulin. Which is made from our pancreas, as you may know.
Anybody with diabetes out there
knows
really
the
is familiar
issue with that.
Yeah.
And then insulin brings sugar into the fat cells and then keeps it there, basically, if you don't use that energy. Insulin levels go down, our fat cells can release the stored sugar, and that's how you lose fat, because it uses it as energy. And so that's how basically keto and carnivore diets work. Basically, you use up all that carb energy, and then you're utilizing energy that you get from fats and proteins, which burn longer. And
and a simplified way, I heard it explained on some random podcast sometime by some person, and if anybody knows, let me know. But it was basically that, imagine carbs are twice as efficient as, say, protein or fat, and this is obviously super simplified, but you get two times as much energy out of carbs. So if you only need 100 energy, you intake 60 carbs and you produce 120, you're storing 20 of it, right? And so the idea is that it's harder to eat energy and protein and fat to meet your body's needs, so your body will have to eat into its surplus a little bit, into the fat cells, just like you're saying. So
exactly, and that also goes with a dieting practice that I use, which is fasting, which we'll get into a little bit later. But keto is basically, if you don't know what it is, it's basically reducing carbs to a very minimum amount and just eating more protein and fat. So you can do exactly what Jesse just kind of said.
Right. And it's ketosis is a stasis, I guess, that your body can get into. Mm-hmm. That simply means that you've gone past the point of storing fat and into the point of burning fat. Right. And so you can reach ketosis many ways. Like some people cut out carbs completely through something like carnivore or another form of it. You don't have to do carnivore. You could eat fats and stuff on top of that. But
yeah, another version of this, which we all have heard of, is the Atkins diet.
Atkins diet, yeah.
Is keto, basically.
Yeah, but, in general, you want to stay, I think the rule I always read was you want to stay below, like, 35 carbs a day. And that will... And it depends on your activity level and your weight and stuff like that. So, of course,
always talk with your doctor.
But if you stay below 35 carbs or so, you will, reach ketosis. You'll reach that point of ketosis after a few days, and you'll be burning more than you're consuming. So, that's the general rule. Now, that does not mean that you just stay on keto forever and you'll keep on burning all your fat by doing nothing. Yeah. You'll see some good results, though. I will say that.
I will say that. But I started my my journey because I'm right now I'm 5'7" is my height, and I now weigh 135 pounds. I started at about 165, and so when I started the journey to losing weight, I started with keto and then kind of you find out relatively quickly if your body is okay with keto. And so mine didn't work out with that, but I did lose a lot of weight while I was on keto, while I was still trying to, I was fine at first, basically.
And I want to touch on that as so that's another reason. So, your diet slows down or you're not feeling the results anymore, is, of course, a reason to switch. But another reason to switch off a diet is sometimes you don't feel great. And that's the thing is, you might not feel ecstatic on any diet.
Yeah, I know.
But you should feel okay. If you feel at all, sick, in pain, or anything just feels really off,
try something
Take a
else.
step back.
Pivot. Yeah.
Pivot a little bit.
Exactly. Not snacking throughout the day and then feeling hungry because of that may not necessarily be a reason to pivot.
That's not what we're talking about.
I'm meaning
exactly.
You're
pain.
Yeah, you're in pain. Your stomach is hurting. You feel weaker. You don't have as much energy. Maybe you're feeling lightheaded. Maybe there's something in this diet that's just not working for you. But hunger pains, which you find out a lot in fasting, are just something that your brain is turning on, which can be triggered by literally anything. If you see somebody else has food, you're going to end up getting hunger pains. You may not even need food at that moment. You could be thirsty. That also triggers hunger pains. And then
that's a trick. That's a trick a lot of diets say is if you're feeling hungry, just get yourself a glass of water.
Mm-hmm. As long as you've gotten all the nutrients that you need, you're tracking your macros properly, and you know your body, you should be able to kind of combat these hunger pains. Because another reason why you feel hunger pains is because your mind is it's used to this predetermined schedule that we all have now. We all feel like we have to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner exactly at those times. 8 is when we're having breakfast, 12 is when we're having lunch, and 5 is when we're having dinner.
Yeah, and we've all experienced it. You wake up hungry, right? Mm-hmm. The brain has incredible control over your hunger and stuff like that. It has incredible control over your entire body because I'll tell you guys, I poop every morning at
on the dot.
8:30, right? I've had my first cup of coffee. I'm taking the sips, and
immediately you have to go.
And people attribute that to coffee, but guess what? There's no way that coffee ran through my body in 5 seconds.
And it's psychosomatic. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's you think that because you've had coffee, you now have to poop, but really it's just your brain sending those signals to your digestive tract to say, "Hey, time to go."
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So, you can quote unquote hack any of these things. And so like that jumps us into fasting. We've both been fasting. We both fast now pretty much religiously.
Not religiously.
Well, I was going to say we can pivot off that into the topic of fasting is not just a religious function. A lot of people might think, what are the Christian or Catholic things where you fast? Lent or something.
Yeah, Lent is a type of fast.
Gandhi fasted
For spiritual reasons. Muslims usually fast, as do people in the Jewish religion. We don't do that. It's not
for religion, because fasting can be used a lot of times to just again hack your body. You're taking advantage of your resting cycles and your metabolism, shortening the kind of period your body is searching for food like that, right? And it does a lot. For me, I think like fasting is one of the main things. I think lately my stomach has shrunk, right? I think I eat less. I get full faster. And I think it has a lot to do with fasting.
Yeah, and let's kind of clear up a little bit of stuff about fasting. Because it's not very hard to fast. 2, it's not starving your body. Because really, in most types of fasts, you should be still getting the nutrients that you need. A lot of times you're hydrating your body still. There are different types of fasts as well. We usually do 2 different types of fasts. We either are doing intermittent fasting, which is very popular right now, to where basically you only eat during a certain time of the day.
Right. You give yourself a window
to eat.
The popular
to get
windows
all your
are like
carbs or all your calories that you need for that day. So for a normal human being, if you're not trying to lose weight, is around 2,000. Which you can actually calculate that based on like your height and age and weight. Yeah.
And you tell them, I want to lose some weight, and they'll give you a more accurate number, right?
Look up also TDEE calculator, and you can find one that'll give you based on age, weight, height, and also body fat percentage, and it'll tell you how many calories you need to maintain. To cut.
Which I want to plug that little thing we got off Amazon. It's super great. It's a little handheld electro thing to do body fat, because
body fat.
You know what? Like scales are so off. This thing is like at least 20-30%
a little bit more. And it's still not the most accurate. So keep that in mind too. If you want to know exactly what your body fat percentage is, you're going to have to go to a healthcare professional.
Oh, yeah. We got a buddy who's a personal trainer, Ben. We're going to have him on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah. Hey,
actually,
Ben.
Next time we talk about this stuff, we should get Ben on.
We should definitely get Ben on here.
And we can talk about fitness and stuff like that.
But
or
beer.
Either way. He loves beer.
Yes.
He makes beer. Dog Days Brewing out of Washington is his brewery.
It's such good
they
beer.
Are,
they're new.
ramping up into making kegs and things like that, and they're hopefully going to be found in some local restaurants if we can help out with that.
Yep.
And then, maybe in a little bit we'll be able to get some bottles out.
Yes.
And we'll plug them, and hopefully we'll be able to sell them.
Yes.
And then you guys will be able to buy it, so you know what we're talking about.
Exactly. But right now we're talking about diet.
Yeah, we are. So beer is off the table. But anyways, what was... Oh, yeah, we had him come over, and he did, because he's...
Our body fat percentage.
Yeah, he's a personal trainer, and he has this fancy machine, and he was able to super test our body fat, and we got a super accurate reading. And that's why I say this little handheld thing, I don't know what it is. Looks like a little
I don't know what it's called.
Game controller, but, it checks your body fat. It couldn't have been very expensive, $30 maybe. It's more accurate than like a scale that checks your body fat. So, tracking body fat is a better way to track your health than checking your weight every day or checking your weight occasionally. I think they've done lots of things where they say checking your weight regularly is detrimental to weight loss.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. Of course, that's mental, right? And of course, if you check and you could just ignore it and write it off, sure, keep your thumb on
right.
it. But the body fat thing, you see that progress, and you're like, this makes more sense. I might weigh the same, but I feel better, and this body fat thing is telling me I'm getting muscle and losing fat.
Exactly. So basically though, intermittent fasting is eating within that window. And the benefits of doing that is, basically from a calorie standpoint, you're not overeating because you're eating throughout the day. So you're kind of just eating within that window, and you're eating what you need to, and you're tracking it. So you're not overeating during those times. And then also the idea of intermittent fasting is to allow those insulin levels that we talked about earlier, that are the ones letting sugar into our fat cells. It's to let those levels go down far enough and for long enough so that we burn off the fat. So that's one of the main benefits of intermittent fasting. And I used to intermittent fast for 16 hours and eat for 8.
Right. So the popular windows are like 16-8
or 18-6. And then another 24. One I tend to do is 20-4. But 16-8 is probably the easiest because that's basically you're eating from like noon to 8 p.m.
Exactly.
And you're
so what that means,
just skipping breakfast.
16-8 is 16 hours off, 8 hours on.
Yeah, of fasting.
Yeah. And the 16 hours, I mean, you're asleep for half of it.
Yeah, at least half of it.
And then you wake up in the morning, you just skip you can still have coffee.
Drink coffee.
Have some coffee.
Without any
sweetener.
Or creamer. You don't need that.
I give this challenge to anybody out there. Anybody using creamer, anybody putting anything in their coffee, stop. Drink black coffee.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's great. Black coffee, and like get some good roasts out there. Save money on those creamers and go buy a nice blend. Of coffee. There's so much flavor, and literally the calories in like a cup of coffee is like 1.
Yeah, 5 I think is what they have to put on like Starbucks.
It's the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the minimum that you're allowed to put on something you sell in a restaurant is 5, and so they have to put 5.
Yeah.
But it's less than that.
Yeah. Another great thing to kind of drink and eat and stuff is tea. I drink tea literally every day, all the time. I have at least 1 cup of tea every day. Usually green tea because that helps with metabolism.
Yes.
And then I
also
caffeine
boosts your metabolism.
Yeah, caffeine boosts your metabolism.
But green tea is also diuretic.
Yeah.
Which causes you to shed some water. And then a little known fact, most teas have higher concentrations of caffeine than coffee do.
Yeah.
Coffee does.
Yeah. Well, and then another thing that I've read following kind of more fasting blogs is caffeine doesn't keep you from being hungry.
Yeah.
The heat of the beverage does.
I heard that as well.
So if you're drinking like iced coffee, that isn't going to help as much. However, if you're drinking hot coffee or hot tea, that's going to keep you feeling fuller longer.
Right.
And that just also kind of goes with the idea that hunger pains are all in your mind.
Yeah.
For the most part. So.
And you know, that brings up another interesting thing I read. So like the reason I like to drink ice cold water is because I heard that if you drink really cold stuff, your body has to work harder to bring it up to body temperature before it can start pulling it down. So your metabolism is boosted by drinking cold things. Now that's going to make you hungrier.
Yes.
Because your metabolism's boosted. So, you know, that makes sense, right? So you're like in the morning, maybe you're drinking hot coffee. But once it hits noon and you're like, okay, I'm out of my fasting period. I'm going from noon to 8. I can eat now. I'm going to cook myself some lunch. Or you bring a lunch, whatever. I don't know what your work situation is. I work from home, so I cook myself lunch. It's great.
I go get lunch.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm cooking myself some lunch. And, you know, between noon and like we'll usually eat dinner, around 6-ish.
No, usually 7-ish. It's like 4 or 5 because
we do, and we have our fitness classes and stuff. Yeah.
And I try to eat before.
And and it lines up with your fast. But say you do around 6. So maybe around 3 you get that mid-afternoon lull that's famous around most office places, right?
You're tired, and then also you're kind of bored, and you don't want to do any more work.
Yeah.
So you're hungry because you're bored.
Yep. You can get a hot beverage, or you can get a cold beverage, right? Whatever you want to do.
That's usually around the time that I get my tea.
Yeah. Do some stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of power you can have from these.
Intermittent fasting is really great. The other fasting option that I actually have started doing this past month is 1 meal a day. And people have said that it's really extreme, which it's honestly not that extreme. It's the idea that you eat 1 meal a day to get all your carbs. And so, or all your calories.
Calories, yeah.
I know.
Carbs are not the same as calories.
Yes. So you're fasting
but
for
generally
23
you're not
hours.
You're not concerned with carbs and protein and stuff.
Not
as
right
long as
now.
you're just doing one meal a day, you're like, that's enough
and as
of a
long
diet
as
for
it's
you.
within my calorie count that I'm allowing myself.
Like theoretically your one meal could be a chocolate cake.
Yeah, technically, and I've actually built out a meal from like McDonald's. Now here's the thing. So I do one meal a day. So I fast for 23 hours and then I eat for a full hour. There's a couple of things that have come up that make that really hard for me. And really hard for, I'm going to guess, for most people. One, if you eat a lot of carbs during that time, you're going to get hungry faster because that energy burns off faster.
Right.
So if I decide to eat a cheeseburger or a chocolate cake, I'm going to end up hungry by 10 a.m. the next morning.
Next day. Yeah, you're going to really struggle the next day when you're trying to make it to your one meal. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then the other thing that I've realized is, so you're supposed to eat your entire amount of calories in that one sitting. And that is a lot. Like say you're doing the whole 2,000, eating 2,000 in 1 hour is really hard. You feel really full. You get really tired. It makes working out after that basically impossible. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a 22-hour fast and then eat over 2 hours. Or I just get the protein and the fat that I need. And maybe I'm at 800 or 900 calories for that day. But then I make it up the next day. Right. So it doesn't matter. Here's another kind of thing. It doesn't matter if you get all the calories you need on one day or if you overeat the calories in one day. As long as over the week you're getting the amount that you need, you'll see that kind of change in your weight. It's not necessarily, oh, well, if she eats only 800 calories this one day, her metabolism's going to stop working and she's going to start gaining weight. Or the whole idea that fasting is a glorified way of having an eating disorder, which if you do have an eating disorder, please don't try one of these fastings without the consult of your doctor. Yeah,
and specifically like your psychiatrist and therapist
your psychiatrist
and stuff. Like,
for sure.
If you have an eating disorder, like there's lots of healthy ways to eat. Dieting is definitely healthy for most Americans out there who are doing the typical, overconsume thing like that. Mm-hmm. But you might be the person that out there that needs to eat more. And if that's exactly where you're at, do it. Right? There's lots of healthy things you can do, and you can lead a healthy lifestyle, eating lots of good stuff. So.
Exactly. But those are a few of the ways that one meal a day is a little bit challenging. However, the reason why I decided to do it is because I was literally thinking every day, okay, it's lunchtime. I can't go over this certain amount of calories, or else I won't have enough for dinner, or things like that. Now I have a little bit more control, and my brain function during the day doesn't stop because I'm hungry, because I don't get as hungry as often, which is really nice. So I'm thinking more clearly throughout the day, and I'm not stopping because I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna eat now? What do I get to snack on in an hour or whatever? So that's another one. It's also really great for helping with insulin production, promoting autophagy, which is basically the shedding of old cells and the recreation of new cells, which basically makes your cell structure stronger in your body. Which again, I'm not a scientist, but that's usually pretty great. And then, I think that from when you're looking at a standpoint of how humans were supposed to eat, and I know that this sounds kind of annoying and hoity-toity, but humans weren't supposed to have 3 meals a day. That's a social construction that you've been kind of told that you're supposed to do. And so if I can go the majority of the day and not have to worry about eating because people tell me, a commercial tells me that I have to have a breakfast. You don't have to have a breakfast. You don't. It's not necessary. So if I could just go up until I come home and say, okay, now I'm going to make my dinner and it's going to be a delicious meal and I don't have to worry about my calorie count because I have 1,200, which is the use for someone that's trying to lose weight. 1,200 is plenty. Then I don't have to worry as much about it. And I have planned out, like, if I want to go to Taco Bell, yeah, maybe I'll plan it out a little bit more just in case. But, like, for when I'm, like, tonight I made lamb chops and kale and chickpeas. I don't really have to worry about my calorie count on that because it's all healthy foods that I'm making at home, and I know that those are going to be good for me.
Right, and I think no matter how you slice it and dice it too, you're probably pretty good on your calories if I had to guess.
Yes, right? Exactly. And I'm a flexitarian, which is different. I sometimes like to say I'm a vegetarian, but I'm really not because, again, I had lamb chops today. And so it's basically I like to know where my meat is from. I found out on keto that I can't have as much dairy and as much red meat as I would like. So I really have to watch what I eat. And I like vegetables a lot. I love vegetables.
Yeah, like we geared it in. And that's where I say, like, if you're making diet choices for health reasons and you can make permanent changes. And I think for Raven, flexitarian is a permanent lifestyle change, right?
Yeah. And you still eat carnivore, and we a lot of times at night, which is kind of unfortunate because I love cooking for both of us, and you like cooking for me, is Jesse makes his dinner and I make my dinner, and that's it. Sometimes I pick up something quick and easy from the store and I make that, and most of the time Jesse picks up 2 ribeyes and has them for lunch and dinner.
Yep, and I'll say, like, we do understand, if you have kids out there, it's hard.
It is a lot harder.
It's very hard to plan meals that are separate for everybody and stuff like that. So, if you would like, some ideas, again, we're not experts because we're not experts on anything. But if you would like some ideas and then you want somebody to work with, like, send us a message.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can, like, help you come up with some cool ideas, some creative ideas to try and do a diet while still meeting the needs of cooking for many people or a family. And not everybody can be on different diets.
Like, as friends trying to help people, we're obviously, like, not nutritionists, and we're not someone that's going to also charge you like they do, like, Instagram. And
no, but we'll send you some cool links for recipes, basically. That's about it.
Exactly. And then another way that I kind of justify eating something that's kind of not the best for me, like, as you guys know, I bake a lot and I love baking and I love cooking. And so a lot of times I'll make that and people will ask me, like, oh, well, how can you make that and then also lose weight? Well, I track it, and everything in moderation is so important on a diet that I just make sure that, okay, if I've decided that I'm going to make cookies today, I'm going to eat those cookies. I'm not going to get a caramel macchiato from Starbucks, which I never drink anyways.
Right.
But
don't drink that crap.
Yeah.
Black coffee.
Black coffee only.
Or cold brew.
Or cold brew.
Nitro
cold brew.
Nitro cold brew is good as hell, and the cold brew coffees are super great.
Cold foam, also delicious.
Cold foam actually has a lot more calories, though.
It doesn't, though.
I thought I read the cold foam had some.
It has like 30 calories.
That's a lot.
No, it's not.
That's a lot. When
I'm justifying it with my moderation.
Yeah, sure. That's true. Moderation. But cold brew, the nitro cold brew, I have the same as black coffee. Again, it goes that cold beverage thing, but, the effect of that.
Right. Yeah. But moderation is really important. Make sure you know where your calories are coming from. And then when I've decided, okay, well, I'm going to make this today, I justify it that if I make it with my hands, if I make it with my own hands, then I deserve it. To be honest, like, if I make cookies or I make bread is fucking hard, you guys.
Oh yeah, I love eating bread.
So
it's a
much
lot
work.
of like
upper body strength.
You get a lot of muscles, out of it and stuff like that.
And so if you do the work, eat the thing. Like, shit, you deserve it. And that's one of the ways that I kind of reward myself. If I decide, okay, well, I'm gonna make this and I'm gonna make it really tasty. And I'm going to eat it within moderation, but I deserve it.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways that I do that. So again, everything in moderation is really important. I think tracking everything is really important on a diet. And then try out fasting. It's not easy,
right.
but drink lots of water.
And try out intermittent, I think. Like, if you're, like,
don't go ham and start with one meal a day, or just straight, like, day fasting, which I've actually been able to do before. But, like, if you've done a juice cleanse.
16-8, like, I was doing that before I even knew it was a thing. Because I'm just not hungry in the morning. I don't eat breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Unless we're going somewhere, I can't.
Getting brunch.
Yeah, but I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry until about noon anyways. And then, I normally eat dinner at a reasonable time and,
Stop snacking late. Stop snacking while you're gaming. You don't need to.
Yeah. If that's your problem is eating past 8, just get yourself a big old thing of water.
Oh, yeah.
Sit there and just drink water. At 8 o'clock, you're drinking water for the rest of the day.
Also, I will say,
you'll have to pee
if
like a
you
bitch.
have a problem with the taste of water, I need you to
drink more of it until you get used to it.
Until you get used to it. Because, 1, water's delicious.
Yeah.
2, it's so healthy for you. Just kind of get over it. And
water tastes amazing.
Yeah, it tastes amazing because it also kind of tastes like nothing. Don't add stuff to it. Just drink it. Drink it with ice.
Yeah, I've been drinking down this big thing of water this entire podcast.
Yes,
love it.
He has. If you've heard any clacking, because...
It happened once. You act like it happened a bunch. It happened once.
Well, it's from the coaster.
Yeah.
So drink water, drink coffee, drink tea. Drink when you think you're hungry. Don't snack when you're bored. And try different diets out.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep trying diets.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing carnivore right now. But I'm already thinking about what am I going to do next? Yeah, meat's kind of getting old. I love myself some meat, but I love vegetables too. Kind of miss them.
You're getting really good at cooking a steak, though.
I am taking the opportunity to get better at cooking steak.
Really good at cooking steak.
But yeah, it's I'm trying to, what's the next thing? Always change, always be agile.
Here's another thing that I do want to bring up before we move into the next portion of our theme, which is exercise. Please, one, track your proteins, fat, and carbs. Make sure you know what's in the food that you're eating. But beware foods that prey on your diet. So if you see a special quote unquote diet cookie that has 16 grams of protein in it, like look at the back, make sure you're looking at the calories because there's
serving size.
And serving sizes.
Because sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, it's got 0 or 1 carb. But that's 1 carb per serving. And guess what? This one cookie has 62 servings.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
And it's like, if you just had a regular goddamn cookie, you'd be like, it's a quarter of the calories. And yeah, you're not getting 16 grams of protein, but eat an egg or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
Eat something better. And
right
then also
now,
treat yourself to the damn cookie.
Yeah, right now there's a lot of products coming out, I think, that really are doing this. So
they're trying to prey on the keto diet and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, that cookie has 16 grams of protein, but also it has 52 grams of carbs and no fat, which you do need fat. Cue to the 90s that told us that fat was bad for you. Fat is not bad for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I have another one. Salt's not bad for you. Everybody who thinks salt is super bad for you, it's
also,
not.
I'm going to say sugar's not bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is
fine in moderation. And we've been ragging on carbs, but carbs are really good.
You need them.
Usually,
I eat tons of carbs because I have salads literally every other day.
Yeah, and when I'm on more of my maintenance diet and 30 minutes before the gym, you know what I'm doing? I'm eating a sugary snack. Right? I'm trying to get the carbs.
You're carbo loading. You got to have that fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
Throw it up.
Yeah. Which the problem with that is that it was a ton of fat as well. I think
it's the milk. I think the dairy was bad in that episode of The Office.
Yeah. But you want sugar.
Yeah, you want some or some carbs of some kind. That's what protein shakes are. I mean, it has carbs in it. And that's why bananas are great.
Yeah, listen, the people, so I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and of course they talk about MMA fighters all the time. So I'll go to them.
And fitness in general, which is right.
Yeah, but the MMA fighters out there, the football players, they're not skipping carbs.
I don't know.
You know, they're eating tons of carbs and they're eating tons of protein and they're looking fit as fuck.
They also spend a lot of time in the gym.
Well, yeah. So you balance it out. But like the point is, diet is a practice. It's something you're getting better at and better at. And when you master the form of like knowing what you're eating when you're eating and giving your body what it needs when it needs,
in the food,
you can pretty much eat whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah. Because what you're going to want to eat, you know how it's going to affect your body.
Right. And you'll say, okay.
It really comes intuitively. Like I'll say I'm not great. I'm also from the South, so I didn't grow up with a good diet. A lot of people in my family have diabetes, has died. Yeah, that's what it sounded like you were going to say.
And it's like, well, yes, everybody in your family who's not alive has died.
No, they have diabetes, and so that was one of the reasons why I decided to make this fitness and dieting change. I've come from family that they don't have great self-control when it comes to their food. No offense to them. And the cooking is really great. But you start to really realize kind of what you can have and what you can't have and what's going to affect your body. So let's move on to the fitness aspect of it.
Because, diet is one thing. And I think, we're working on it. Everybody's working on it. Yeah. You know? But everybody, I think everybody could benefit from diet. Everybody listening to this podcast, start doing some diet. You could do it today.
Start tracking your calories and stop drinking soda. I will say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you're drinking a soda, slap it out of your hands. Go get some water.
Water and black coffee. Don't put creamer in it. Don't put sugar in it.
Tea.
Don't add anything to your water. Don't drink sodas.
They're Satan.
Yeah, if you need a way to stop drinking sodas, try out diet sodas. They're not as bad as you might think. Try out Coke Zero.
Bad,
right? They're bad for you. Yeah. Use it as a gateway.
If you're one of those people that comes at us on social media later and says, "Oh, but aspartame." Yeah, you have to drink like 1,000 sodas in one day for the effects of aspartame to give you like cancer.
Well, yeah, and like we're saying, use this temporarily to get yourself down to the end goal is just water and coffee. Mm-hmm. And again, I actually want to step back in a diet real quick on alcohol because we love alcohol. We drink alcohol on the weekends. We don't drink it during the week because we're trying to keep ourselves. Yeah, Raven sipping some wine.
I got some wine. It went really well with the lamb.
It did go well with the lamb.
It was so good.
Antioxidants are good, and they're good for you and stuff like that. But the thing alcohol does is it retards your metabolism.
Okay.
Yeah, I can use that word. Only we can use that word. But it does in the scientific or the literal definition of it.
Yeah.
It hurts your it hurts your metabolism to a degree that anything you eat with it and all the sugars that are in the alcohol themselves are like twofold more hurtful than they would be otherwise. So alcohol also it crazily inhibits your dieting ability. So if you want to get serious about dieting and you want to get into control of it, again, we
don't drink
on
every
the weekends.
Day. Yeah, don't drink every day. Drink potentially on the weekends.
Yeah.
Try to limit yourself to the amount that you are drinking.
Sometimes the weekend starts on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Thursday.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But you drink on the weekends. I also loosen up my diet on the weekends. I have some vegetables on the weekends.
I also don't do one meal a day
on the weekends.
But I do intermittent fast, and I still try to keep mine.
Right. So give yourself some wiggle room here and there, and you'll be a lot more successful. But yeah, so diet is something we can all do right now. We could all change our diet a little bit, and we can all adjust our diet, and we can all benefit from it. But getting to the gym start tracking. But getting to the gym is sometimes harder, but it's equally as important. They say that six-pack is built in the gym and revealed in the kitchen, right?
Damn, that was insightful as hell.
That
was beautiful.
I didn't invent that.
You should claim that.
No, I literally can't because I literally heard it this week on a Joe Rogan podcast. So, but it's true. Yeah, it's true, right? You got to get to the gym so you can build up those muscles. But if you want to really kind of tighten in the and reveal your muscles, you got to do it in the kitchen, right? And the kitchen part, I think, is super easy for people, but the gym's hard. Because everybody
has one for the most part.
Right. It's hard to get to the gym, or you don't
have access.
You don't have access
to classes
to
or gym equipment, and a lot of people think that the only way to be fit is to, one, do exactly what models and actors do, and then two, have access to like an LA Fitness or something like that, which is not the case necessarily.
Right. Yeah. We do. So,
we attribute
talking
some
about
of our success to that.
Absolutely. A lot of what we do, and we're fortunate enough to have the access and stuff like that to a great gym.
And the means, because it is not cheap to have a gym membership.
Oh,
unless
absolutely.
You're going to like Planet Fitness and then your car gets broken into like every other week.
Oh, yeah. And at some point, I think you go, okay, like the fitness journey I would love for anybody to start finding for themselves is start doing some fitness at home, start building it up, and you're like, okay, now it's worth it. I might have to sacrifice a little on X, Y, and Z, but fitness is so important to me. I'm going to make that sacrifice and make it work. But, or you start buying some gym stuff too for the house and just improve what you got at home.
Or, there are a lot of free options out there. I think growing up, for the most part, what I did was I did yoga at home very often. I'd put a towel down on my carpeted floor and I would do yoga at home watching YouTube videos. Yeah. And yoga is my particular brand of fitness. I do other versions, yoga. But we love yoga. We think yoga is very important because the amount of strength that you get in your joints, in your muscles, and then also the flexibility that it gives you is so important to being fit. Because here's the thing.
It's a full body workout.
If you can't touch your toes, you can't do deadlifts. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have to have some flexibility in how you're working out.
So in pretty much any exercise that you're going to do in the gym, there's some amount of flexibility that like will help you keep form. So important things when you're at the gym, of course, is make sure you're lifting an appropriate amount of weight.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it either, though, right? You want to lift something that's a little challenging, right? So usually what I say is if you're doing an exercise, I try to shoot anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. So reps is how many times you do it. So if you're doing reps of like, a bench press, you do, say you want to do like a 12-3, would be 12 reps over 3 sets. Mm-hmm. So you do 12, then you rest for a little bit, then you do 12, then you rest for a little bit, then you do 12.
So you're doing 36 in total of these particular reps.
Exactly. So, what you do if you're starting a new exercise is you throw some weight on the system, and don't be afraid to jump on anything when you go to a gym. If you don't see a machine, you're like, I have no idea how that works. Just go up to it and start playing around. But throw some weight on it that you think sounds reasonable. Try, if you stop at 8, great. If you stop before 8, maybe lower the weight a little bit. If you stop at 12, also great. So anywhere between that 8 and 12 is what I'm shooting for. If you can go past 12, you might need to up the weight a little bit. And, you dial it in. One thing I'll say is MyFitnessPal, again, you can record workouts. So just throw some weight on and see what you can get to. Shoot through that 8 to 12, try it out, and you'll be able to kind of figure it out. And I'd say record as much as you can.
Yeah, I love keeping a record.
Yeah, can record
Bodybuilder.com allows you, one, they'll give you plans that you could follow.
Yes, they have exercise plans.
Plans. And then you can also say, okay, this day I did 15 reps, 3 sets.
Yeah, on this much weight.
At 50 pounds, which I don't know what I did.
And it depends on the exercise, right?
Yeah.
But you start tracking it and figure out what you're going to do. So, don't do too much, don't do too little. And then the other thing where we were kind of getting with that whole thought process was making sure you have the right form is just as critical to having the right amount of weight on the exercise.
Yes.
So making sure that and that's the great thing about machines. Lots of people say barbells, dumbbells are the superior workout, blah, blah, blah. And of course, they're great too. But machines don't let you have improper form, or it's harder to have improper form. So you
they
go
also
the curl
give you
machine,
a little cheat sheet and tell you
on how to do it and stuff. Yeah. So, try out the machines definitely at first too, just to see what you're getting into and stuff like that. But that's at a gym. So if you don't have access to that.
So if you don't have access to a gym though, what I will say is the best thing to do, and yoga helps with this as well, is to do body weight.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's the best place to really start. And it's the easiest to start because there are times where I'm at work and I'll take a minute or two to go do some squats, some body weight squats, some push-ups, and some sit-ups, and then some Russian twists. And then I have had, for the most part, a full body workout. I mean, at least a little bit in those 2 minutes that I've been able to just kind of like step away. So I think that doing some body weight work is really important. And then yoga is really great for that too, because it's all body weight.
Yeah, yoga is a full body workout and works on that flexibility at the same time.
Yeah.
And, you can generally find a yoga routine on like YouTube or something. If you're like, I got 15 minutes in the morning, you can find one that's 15 minutes.
Sun salutations
you got 30,
is a great way to do it.
You can find 30.
Exactly.
You got an hour, you can find an hour.
Yes. And then another kind of fitness, I mean, it's something so easy, but just get up from your desk for like a minute and like just go like walk around on your floor. Like just go stand for a little bit, because most of us work at desks.
Right. So I used to work at a desk, say in a building, right? And what I do is like, get up and just walk the whole floor, or
I just go to the bathroom.
Just go to the bathroom. Yeah.
I just force myself to go to the bathroom.
Go up and down the stairs a couple times. Just like a floor or two.
And then what I also do is I'll usually, I don't eat lunch at my desk anymore because I don't eat lunch. But when I did eat lunch, I would eat at my desk while I'm working. And then on my lunch, I go and I walk around my city. I go go to the mall and kind of like walk around there. Or if it's a beautiful day here in Seattle, which is few and far between, I'll like walk around the park that's really close to where I work.
Absolutely.
So I think that it's very important to take those steps literally and
so
and
I'll say what I found,
so
like working from home kind of hurt me a lot in the moving during the day department. I just wasn't as active because you're like, okay, you can move around the house. I'm doing chores and working at the same time, but I took a steep decline in that area, and I felt like
it's so much easier to just be at rest where you are at rest.
Yeah. And so I had to find a way to really do it in body weights where it's at. And I mean, actually recently I'll post a picture. I got like this really cool little bike desk.
Yeah. It's pretty
cool.
So
I'm working from that right now, but in general, I just am like, okay, I would have a little notebook and I'd be tracking like body weight things in it. So body weight fitness is doing anything that just kind of relies on the weight of your own body.
Yeah. Instead of like using weight, like dumbbells
or anything
squat
like that,
racks, whatever.
And it's, like, so you think push-ups, everybody's mind goes push-ups is the number one, sit-ups, squats. And that's, so and I'd say
some of it too is like,
any combination of body, and there's a subreddit, our Bodyweight Fitness, where you can get like tons of help on picking out like exercises to work certain muscle groups and stuff. But I'll say one thing is, if you do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and that's the only 3 you do, you're hitting everything you need to do. Upper body, core.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, your glutes and
that's a
legs
good
and stuff.
start.
Great start. And what I used to do was 5-5-5, and then go on do something.
I do 10-10-10.
Every time I get up, 5-5-5, 5-5-5, and and then you're eventually start doing 10-10-10, 10-10-10.
And like you're getting to 100.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
You push your way up until you can do, my goal is to do 100 of all of them every day. And I can easily do that now. I think I could do 100 of all of them each day, right? I kind of stopped doing it that way because we started back into doing
our fitness classes, which we will talk about. Like, let's go into our...
That's how you could work out at home if you don't have a gym.
Yeah.
But if you have access to a gym.
Sing the praises of going to a fitness class.
Yeah, your local gym, somebody who is basically put together a plan.
A fitness routine for the masses for the most part. And
right. It's like going to gym class as a kid.
So a lot of people, so Jesse and I are pretty extroverted people. But so I understand when introverts come to me still and say, well, I really don't want to go to a fitness class. People are just going to watch me. And I'll say that when I went to one, I was very nervous that I was going to be embarrassed by how poorly I was going to do in the class. Right. And it was even yoga, which I've been doing yoga in one form or another since I was in the 5th grade. My mom took me to my first yoga class. So I thought that I would still be doing it wrong. Guys, newsflash. Everybody feels that way. Nobody's watching you because they're all too concerned about themselves.
Especially in fit. So I'd say in yoga, there are definitely a lot better people out there who might just be like doing it so easy that they like, have the ability to kind of look around. But they're not doing it.
No,
but they would have they're not so out of breath that they could look around. In the fit class, literally everybody is dying.
I think that
constantly.
I'm going to die.
Right. Because the way a good class like that is put together, and shout out to Verde, Organic Body.
Yes, the one that we go to.
That's where we go. They're kind of local to our area, so if you're in this area, you 100% have to check them out.
Definitely recommend it.
And you know the area. I'm not going to say it online, but you know the area if you're there. If you're not, hopefully they come to an area by you eventually. So Verde Organic Body, check them out if you're near us. But so the fitness
everybody
classes,
is so tired
okay.
and
That's
focusing on themselves. Yeah.
It's a good fitness class, it's put together to a point where it's like, okay, do push-ups here, do sit-ups here, and this obviously is better than that. Do some things here, and the goal is each person's going at their own pace, and they're kind of moving through it. So if I can do 100 sit-ups, but you can only do 10.
I don't know that you could do 100 sit-ups. I'm not counting you, I'm counting me.
Yeah, and the point is everybody's trying to get to the same level of tired, which is to be completely exhausted, to the point where you can't pay attention to what other people are doing. Or you shouldn't be paying attention to whatever other people are doing.
Yeah, and that's the same with yoga as well, because basically when you go to a yoga class, the idea is that you're there for your own practice. You're there to grow in your own body. You're there to experience stretch, feel tired in your own way, and you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people. Now, I know that that's really hard, but like that is part of the growth of yoga in general, because it is a very mindful practice. And so you're trying to feel, I think that that's one of the reasons why we're even a little bit more successful at fit, and we don't feel as self-conscious about ourselves at this point, because literally I'm not good at fit because I just like, I don't have as great endurance as like a lot of other people.
Right. We're building up a lot of endurance.
Yeah. But I've learned in my own practice of yoga to focus inward instead of outward. Which seems a very yogi Instagram quote, but but that's exactly but that's exactly how you're supposed to kind of look at it, as like internally you're growing and you're doing fine. You're doing fine, sweetheart. Just get that Jonathan Van Ness quote in the back of your head, your Kelly Clarkson song. You're doing great, honey. That's all you have to think about.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what the quote is exactly, but it's something like, you're not competing against other people, you're competing against you yesterday.
Yeah,
or you before. You just got to do better than what you could have done before. So just keep growing and expanding and pushing.
Yeah, because it's been about my entire fitness journey, quote unquote. Started about a year ago when I finally went to a yoga class, and I'm definitely for so much farther along now, and it's just that one step. And if you let your ego get in the way of that first step, you're never gonna grow, you're never gonna lose weight, you're never gonna get healthy. You're gonna just kind of stay static because you let yourself get in the way. Yep. It's not those other people that are watching you or quote unquote that you think are watching you. It's yourself, because you think it.
Exactly. So finding a fitness gym like we have, where you can go to classes and things like that, are super great. But the next step up is definitely to get into a gym and kind of self-learn, or hire a personal trainer to teach you, where to go and give you some guidance. And that can be even more intimidating than going to those classes, because people might be meandering around and stuff like that. But it's the same exact thing. They're not looking at you. They're focusing on them. They're there to get better, so they know you're there to get better.
Yeah. I will say, if it is one of those situations where someone is kind of looking at it from a judgmental eyes, that is their inward kind of self-reflection, to where they feel the need to do that. You don't do that. You grow where they go low, we go high kind of situation. Show them.
If somebody's watching you, push it extra hard and show them that you're fucking killing it, and they're just there looking at other people. They should feel bad.
They should feel bad. They literally should. They're wasting time when they could be getting stronger and better and fitter, and they've decided to squander that time. This is all a beautiful, inspirational.
Well, and that's that's the whole thing about fitness. And this is the other side of the coin. So eating healthy, that's something where I look at it and I tell myself, why am I putting this crap in my body? I should do better, right? Blah, blah, blah. The other side of it is the inspirational side. You can do better, you're trying hard, and you should feel that growth, right? Like you should, of course, feel good about the food you're eating and things like that too, but, it's a different sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And I think that's all anybody needs in the gym. You don't have to be, benching 350. You just got to be, benching your hardest.
Some of the best moments of my time in yoga, because I feel like a lot of people don't think of it as like a strengthening kind of journey, which it definitely is. Like I take weight training classes and I do weight training so that I can be better at yoga, so I can get into those harder poses. But there are moments where I'll be in tree pose, which everybody knows, that's the one where your leg is kind of, or your one of your feet is kind of like in the inner of your thigh, and you're just like in a very peaceful moment.
Yeah, you're standing on one leg.
You're standing on one leg.
Like figure four kind of shape. Yeah.
Exactly. And I will just get so excited if I just stay in the pose for the entirety of the time that the yoga instructor asks us to. I think that is a part of the journey. Like, just to be so excited and so proud of yourself in those moments. Like, I feel the same way when I can max out my squats, or I could do squats in a fit class that are like the same weight as Jesse. If
you think yoga is not gonna engage your muscles and stuff, plank for 30 minutes straight. If you can do that easy, your muscles are going to be engaged in yoga.
Yeah,
if you could do barely 30 seconds like me, then you're going to have a lot of burning.
There's actually one of our yoga instructors who is absolutely amazing. She, the other day, was doing basically a version of a pose where you're basically leaning half of your body on one of your arms. And she's a super tall woman. She's not the thinnest woman. She's very curvy, very voluptuous. And this girl
is very impressive.
Held it for God knows how long. And she was teaching all of us how to do it. And I'm like, shit, girl, how did you get to be so good at what you're doing? And she does great inversions, and it's all just really inspirational, because it's also not something, the great thing about yoga is it's not something that you feel like you have to be stick thin to do. I think it is a stereotype that it's all these really thin white women on Instagram, and it's no, it's not. It's everybody's journey and being flexible, and your inner strength really comes out in what you're doing.
Yeah, ever since I started doing yoga, I'd say I'm a huge proponent for everybody should do yoga. You should do fitness that you like and enjoy and love.
Yes.
And you should do yoga on top of it.
Yes.
Because you'll get some added flexibility and strength, whole body. Because if, say, your favorite sort of fitness is something that's very heavy upper body, and you're not really treating your lower body great, here, this is this great opportunity.
Do some chair.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to help well round your body, get that flexibility.
And then it also adds some stretching and whatnot to your upper body as well. We do a lot of shoulder stretches. Yeah, it'll help that you never do when you're doing.
And it also gives you that sort of meditation time as well.
Yeah.
So you do if you're hardcore and you want to go to the gym, just do 15 minutes of stretching and yoga right beforehand.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna say that all of us, or I'm gonna speak for the masses, we don't stretch enough, especially before we work out. And if you can't touch your traps, I need you to do some yoga.
Yeah, do yoga for sure. I think again, so if we're talking to our average listener out there who is now going to cut out creamers and stop drinking soda and start counting their calories. And
just tracking.
They want to do some stuff at home. I say try and find 15 minutes to do a little bit of yoga every morning.
Or in the night, like before you go to bed. Yeah, I find it so relaxing.
Do both. Do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. And throughout the day, just try and do some push-ups, squats, sit-ups, whatever you can do. Just walk a little extra. And you'll notice the difference and you'll feel stronger. And as you get stronger, you'll have more energy to do more.
Yes, that's the thing, is like the moment that you decide, I think it's like kind of this kinetic energy, like you're so full of potential energy in your body that the moment you decide to do something, you're creating more energy to do something else. And so I think that now, because we work out more, I have more energy to take my dog on longer walks. I have more energy to go and spend like a day in Seattle. Yeah. Like things like that.
You sleep better.
I sleep better.
I find it easier to regulate my sleeping time. Like I feel like I go to bed at a more regular time and wake up at a more regular time than I used to. And I wake up easier. I go to bed easier. I just feel like sometimes, we all get in those moods, right? Those just disappear, You're no more gray, cloudy days, despite what the weather looks like.
Yeah,
you just feel better.
I will say I'm someone that struggles with depression. And like maybe not everybody takes it seriously when a doctor's like, hey, try exercising. It does help. Like medication definitely helps as well, especially for those of us that need it. But working out is a way to help produce serotonin, and then you also just feel more confident in yourself, which gives you a little bit more self-worth, which also then helps with the way that you're feeling. And it gets you up off the couch, which I have a problem with when I'm having those like mean reds and you're like feeling really shitty and you just want to stay on the couch. Sometimes it really helps when Jesse's like, hey, let's go to Fit instead. Or I have a friend that's also going. So get a partner to go with you and help you.
That's something they talk about a lot. It's like, to find your tribe of people, right? It's
your
like,
tribe, hashtag
I know. It's like
Yogi
super
tribe.
But it's true. It's like once you start going, especially to the classes are an easy place to find people that are on the same schedule. Yeah. Start talking to some people. If you're a little introverted, go to a few classes and you'll get to see some similar faces and start that conversation. And you don't have to share interests outside of the class. You don't have to hang out with these people outside of the class.
Yeah.
But if they're just somebody that you can say, hey, you going to class next week? Awesome. Like we had a friend, he I think moved away, who used to go to the fit classes. And we'd say, hey, man, you going to fit class this week? And he would say, yeah, we'd be like, awesome. We'll see you there, right? And just having that sort of like, you owe that person to be there because you said you'd be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we go to yoga we do multiple classes. Like we'll get into our schedule in a second. But like we go to yoga with Ginny all the time. And that helps us kind of stay accountable to say, okay, well, she's going to yoga today. We'll also go to yoga today. But then also you have to just be accountable to yourself.
You can. But you can use other people as
a crutch.
Yeah.
But it's not a crutch. It's your support. It's your team. And
it's an extra prod, really, is what exactly. It is. It's that extra little bit to help you get over the
And there are tons of groups online that if you don't have, like, people in your area to go to these classes with you, you have those people to kind of work with, which I've joined many different fitness subgroups on Reddit, on Facebook, and then people that I know on Instagram that I talk to all the time about fitness.
Our Reddit account, call it the podcast Reddit account, very active on Reddit in a lot of those groups, and we try to give support to everybody on there, and we're trying to find, we're just trying to promote positive interactions for everybody on there. So
our progress pics is like Raven's favorite place to go to feel motivated in myself and then also give that motivation back into the world. Like you support so many people on there and you feel so great for them. And so I definitely recommend that. But our fitness routine, I'll just kind of start with mine.
Yeah, we talked about our diet. We might as well tell everybody about our fitness routine.
Our fitness, and we'll make it really quick because this episode is getting really long.
Yeah, this is the last thing.
Yes. So every day what I try to do is on my lunch break, I take an hour-long walk around the city I work in. And I can also, during that time, try to take the kind of 2 minutes that it takes to do my 10 squats, push-ups, and sit-ups, and then Russian twists. I do those. And I try to get to 100 every day. That is a lot. So if you're wanting to do that, maybe go a little bit lower. But I think that those together are the easiest ways to stay fit.
Set that goal and make it like, I didn't make it today. That's okay.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You're trying. You're getting close.
Exactly. Yeah. And then like track those calories. If you got like a fitness app or something on your like smartwatch or whatever, track them. Get the credit that you deserve, because that's what I do.
Right. And I will say that those things are not super accurate, but hey, it's better than nothing.
I think it's more motivation in my own way, because I'm like, all right, cool, I'm at like my calorie goal.
Right.
Let's see if I can kill it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My calories may be less than that or over that.
Exactly.
This may not be accurate, but it doesn't matter. I hit the goal on it, so I did something.
Exactly. And then besides just like walking whenever I can, like Jesse and I don't drive very often in our particular, I drive to and from work. And then for the most part, we try to do stuff locally. So we walk a lot, but then class wise, I take yoga very often. I do yoga Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And they're all kind of different styles of classes, but they're all pretty like, power flow kind of classes, vinyasa, if you know what that means, and all very great learning experiences. I'm always challenged in those, so make sure you find a yoga class where you feel challenged, so that you actually feel like you're getting something out of the class, unless what you want out of it is kind of more of a meditation, spiritual kind of connection, which do those as well, because I think that they're definitely worth it. And then Thursdays, Jesse and I do a fit class, which is more kind of endurance based, because that's really what we're
HIIT training.
Yeah,
high intensity interval training.
Exactly, and that is really, we're trying to up our endurance so that when the zombie apocalypse hits, we don't die immediately.
Well, that's the first step to building strength is to build your endurance so that you can actually push through some of those strength training exercises. So,
So that's mine. There's nothing really else that I think that I do besides when it gets to be a bit warmer, Jesse and I like to try different sports.
We've been trying to pick up tennis. So that's going to be our one this summer for sure.
Yeah, and then I've been playing soccer since I was in the 5th grade. So I'm pretty good at that, and I like soccer. So we'll go around and we'll like go outside and kick a soccer ball around, and I'll cream Jesse, and it'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I find like, so for my routine, I definitely am on the side of the spectrum right now where we got caught up in the holiday season. It was a while ago now, but it took down. We were super fit beforehand, and it took us down a peg. And I think you found some ways around it to get into keeping your fitness level up a little bit more.
It's my depression.
You're a little bit more active. I've been struggling to find ways to fit it in my busy schedule and things like that. So definitely have had to get super creative. And another shout out to the watch. We have Apple Watch.
Here's another thing though that I think we should just preference. So I work from an office. I don't know if not an office that is in my home, and then Jesse works from home.
Yeah, and we mentioned
it,
earlier,
but just to make it a little bit more obvious. So I have to leave the home every day while Jesse has to stay home, which is very hard. Like, it is a blessing and a curse.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of benefits. I think everybody should work from home. It'd be awesome. But great. Like, if and just in particular at my work, I'm very busy right now, and I've been busy, and it's been hard to find time, and I have a lot of other things kind of on the fires, a lot of irons in the fire that keep me busy, and so it's been super hard to find that time and motivation to get back into it. So I've had to get creative, and one thing that I did to kind of at least stay on top of it, so that I didn't lose out too much, right? Is and that's where that watch comes in, or the Fitbit, or whatever you're using, is you can set a goal and you say, well, at the very least, I'm hitting my goal, right?
Yeah.
I might not like work out every day, but whatever I'm doing, whether it's working out today or running or going to a class or whatever, I'm at the very least, I'm hitting my goal. I'm trying to hit my goal. And so that's what I've been doing, is just a mixed bag. There's no real schedule. There's nothing. It's if I can find time to do this or that or whatever, it's something that'll help me reach my goal. And I started doing that with some of the body weight stuff, where I try to get to 100 and stuff like that. And I've recently gotten back into the classes, the same yoga classes Raven's going to, the same fit class. Yeah, we're back onto that schedule, so hopefully it'll get a little bit better. But I still found that I was kind of lacking a kind of daily, just get a little bit more active. You know, I'll work from my desk or the couch or the kitchen table or the bar or wherever.
Never the office that we have.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked from there a few times since we've moved into this place, but not often.
No.
It's difficult to find time to go up there. But yeah, so, you know, you get into you need that extra little bit of active that I'm missing. And what we did there, as I just mentioned, the desk. So I'm going to try and be on a constant cycle.
Desk. Yeah, which we'll post pictures of for sure.
Yeah, it was great. It's a little bit of a pricier option. I used to have a treadmill desk. I actually still have it. I just don't know where it is. Where I could take to the gym.
In our apartment complex, which a lot of them do have gyms in apartment complexes, you basically pay for it.
And if, you know, you have a treadmill or whatever, I brought this, it's a little portable desk. I put it on there, and I was able to kind of do it. But I just got so busy to the point where on phone calls and things that I'm taking a lot, where I can't be in a public space like that. So that idea, that's why I had to kind of pivot that idea. But, you know, just kind of staying engaged. I'm not killing it on this bicycle. I'm kind of casually pedaling, right?
Right.
Your heart rate stays a little elevated, and you're doing it constantly. There's no noise coming from it. The bike itself is like Flexi Sport or so. I can't remember. We'll post it again. But, you know, it helps a lot, and you can kind of keep going. So you're active 24/7.
Yeah.
That easily helps me hit my calorie goals, like I was saying on the watch, right? So I can cross that off the list. Then anything I do extra now, I feel like it's more, hey, strength building. Hey, you know, I feel better about the exercise I'm doing, and I feel like I have more opportunity to do more of what I want instead of just trying to make it to that goal.
Yeah.
So Raven said, you know, we're coming into summer. We're going to try and do a lot more outdoor stuff.
I love outdoor stuff.
Yeah, we're going to do some more hiking. We're going to play some tennis. A lot of cardio-based things. So that way I can remove the time I spend kind of doing cardio from my schedule, and then fill those slots where I'll start getting back into the gym and start lifting again. And, you know, I'll try and keep, like, everybody updated, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll start with some very simple routines, you know, built up in the gym. And maybe I'll start doing some personal training, and we'll start getting the whole strength-based thing going. And that's how everybody should do it, is like you get small goals, you get to it, and then you say, what's the next thing that I'm going to do? And that's the next thing for me, is just start building up this strength through weight training. So
yeah, I think it is really important to have goals, because if you're just kind of going at it with the idea of like your only goal is, okay, well, I just want to get skinny, like maybe be a little bit more specific. Like for me, my goal right now in yoga, which was my goal back at my New Year's resolutions, was to be able to hold crow. Guys, I've done it. I've been able to hold crow. And that is a very like strength-based
I can almost get in a crow now. Yeah, I got up and almost up into it, yeah.
I've been able to do wheel, which is basically like
a back bend,
but I'm able to get to it very easily, and I'm super proud of myself for that. And if you give yourself these goals that are very specific rather than just a number on a scale, you'll feel better about this entire journey that you're taking, dieting and fitness alike. So like maybe one of them is like, okay, well, I want to implement vegetarian Mondays or whatever they're called, meatless Mondays. I want to implement that into my family's routine. And you do it consistently, that's a win. Being able to say like, okay, I want to join a soccer team, a co-ed soccer team, adult league, win. Just do it. Like things like that. I want to hit my goal on my watch every day for a week, win. Then up it to a month, win. And so you're constantly winning and you're feeling good. And then if you don't make it, it's just, okay, I'm going to try again next time. I'm going to try again tomorrow. And that's how I feel when I'm not able to get into these poses in yoga, or I'm feeling really sluggish in my fit class because that's happened before. And I'm like, all right, well, it's just another opportunity to kill it next time. And I know that it's a really hard process. That's really hard to get to where you can feel positive enough about yourself and your progress to say at the end of it, when you do kind of fail, to say, all right, well, I'm going to be able to do it next time.
Right. It really helps when, so like yoga is really good for that, because you can say, Oh man, I didn't used to be able to touch my toes. Now I can.
Exactly.
I didn't used to be able to get into crow at all, and now I can. I mean, I can't even hold it for a full.
You can do
second.
you can do like a foot off, which is pretty insane. And if you don't know what crow is, definitely look it up. It's pretty insane. I think it's great.
It's like you see these little incremental little changes, and you're like, I'm definitely stronger than I was last time. Mm-hmm. Like I'm definitely better. So like it's like I didn't get there, but I'm definitely better than I was before.
Oh, and please God, I love progress pics. Like I said, I go on our progress pics all the time, and I make my own progress pics because it's really hard to kind of think about your journey and where you've come from and where you're going if you have nothing to look back on. So definitely compare yourself to progress pics all the time.
Yep.
If you lose weight and you're looking in a mirror and you're like, I don't see it. I hate myself. Because I do it. I used to do it all the time.
Well, and that's why I said get that little thing. Get the little body fat guy. He'll tell you, if you look the same, test the body fat thing, and it'll tell you, oh, no, you definitely lost something.
And then look at some progress pics. And then send them to me as long as you're
somebody
close.
once said they're you'll see gradual. We change gradually, and we live with that change. So you don't notice it.
Face gains is one of my favorite things. It's the super small changes in your face when you go from 10, 15, 20, and I've lost 30 pounds. And it's such a difference in the way your face looks and the way it sits. And it's just something to truly be proud of in yourself.
Yeah. And it's not so hard, guys. So we'll do more of these about fitness and stuff. And I think when we get to that next one, we'll talk about some stuff like plateauing and how to change it up and stuff.
Plateaued so many
But I think
times.
this is a good podcast for kind of.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, but this is something we enjoy. We really like doing all this stuff. And again, this podcast is not just it's about everything we love, right? So,
yeah, exactly. And we truly love fitness. We truly love being active, and I think that it is something that you should try to incorporate in your life. It'll make you feel better. And you can find something that you really love, because fitness can be singular, it could be internal, it could be external, it could be co-op even. So
we do all our classes together and stuff, so,
Exactly. But then you're on each of your own journeys, so.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. We love it.
Yep. But anyways,
yeah.
Let's
get out
for
of
the podcast. Yeah, I'm done with this.
Fuck these people.
So we'll be back next
week.
All right. Later.
Oh, nope. All right. Nope. You can find us on social media.
Yeah.
At Co-op the Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm constantly posting on Twitter. Jesse's also on Reddit. You can also find us on YouTube,
MySpace. Yep. You can find me on those said platforms at Jesse, JESSECO_OP.
And you can find me on those same platforms as well, Raven_co-op or Coop at Raven.
And make sure you check out our website for the blog.
Yes.
Content.
co-opthepodcast.com.
I spelled it out at the beginning. So
COOPTHEPODCAST.com.
What else? Patreon. Also check out Patreon.
Yes, give us your money so we can put Ginny on a podcast. Everybody loves her.
But she costs a lot of money.
She costs so much money.
Yep. The guests aren't free, people.
She went to Butler University. She's so bougie.
Yeah, we have to pay for other people to come on to the podcast.
We do.
It's the only way we can get them to hang out with us.
Yep.
So,
pay them for their time.
Yeah.
Because they're also...
Buy t-shirts, buy pop sockets.
Yes.
All those can be found on our website, also on Amazon.
Yeah, we'll feature you on our social media if you actually wear one of our shirts or use one of our pop sockets.
Oh, yeah. And if you buy it, which you conveniently buy it through Amazon.
And get it.
Leave a review, put a picture of yourself on there, stylize it, and make everybody envious.
Super envious.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So now we're done.
Yes, we are. Good job.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.